because I thought that we would likely still be able to just reference our map and then we can find. So I'm a little surprised that that is not the case here. I'm not necessarily sure that this will be the location of it, but this was that spot earlier where I was wondering, is there anything over here? It's kind of this little island in the middle of the moat, which is interesting. But it seems that there is nothing special here other than just a few pretty darn common herbs. So let's head back up there. And I hope we don't need to go back and ask that guy again. Oh, this must be it, right? This looks like some kind of shrine. Okay. And then was it right at the shrine as well? That's a lot of rights. I don't think I'm right. Well, there's something here. Up on a hill, he said something about that as well. Oh, okay. Maybe we are headed in the right direction then. Seems so.
There's the shrine. Passage must be somewhere around here.
It was not the shrine that I thought, but apparently this works too. No. It's here somewhere. This is the edge of the area. My guess is it's kind of built into one of these edges here. One of these cliff faces. I'd have even gone right past it as we were exploring this area earlier. Wanna hop? No.
There it is.
Okay.
Seems I'm in for a spin.
That would seem to be the case. Assuming there's not anything else in this area. No? Okay. So, stuck down, and just ignore the fact that, you know, previously this was a location where someone drowned. I'm sure we'll be fine. Oh, we can't hop up here? Now we can. Okay, let's take a quick look at the quest. I'm assuming it probably just says, like, go through here. Explore the cave and find a way into the castle. Alright, looks pretty linear. Do another Witcher Sense peek. I can't tell if there's anything we ought to be wary of. But I think there could probably be enemies down here. Some variety. It is a fairly low-level quest, so I don't think that it's going to be anything that we can't handle. Couldn't be. Well, water hag. Here we go. It is a little bit tough to see, but I mean, basically deal 0 damage to us. Didn't even need to put on Quen. Ducal water, is that one of the things that we've been waiting forever to finally get? It might be. Because we were thinking of trying to target more of those water hags in hopes of getting more of some kind of crafting ingredient that had something to do with water. I feel like that was it. Let's double check. It's not the water hag decoction. You can actually drop a mutagen, it would seem, based on those items there. We need to craft that. I think it was cat potion? Although, water essence, and we still did not get an additional one of that. I think you guys were saying that's not a huge deal. We do that now. I mean, I'm not super attached to the cat potion because it just gives us total sight in darkness, which is convenient, yes. Like times like this where we're in the dark, but I don't think it's ever going to be strictly necessary. I figured there was going to be something down there. You can't hide that from me. I mean, one of those cases where you don't let me loot it, though, it might be. Because I'm pressing the loot button and you're not allowing me to loot. It's like roughly a 50% chance.
Must be close.
also didn't necessarily want to go further in this area. I just wanted to loot that thing over there. Something here, too. Ooh, open silver sword enhance. That sounds like that could be very good. I am curious, but I think we're not going to be able to craft it right now anyways. So, yeah, I'm going to do a quick save and reload here, because that is typically the answer whenever we find ourselves unable to loot things underwater. So let's do that real quick. And, oh, that does require that we reload it, though. So let's do this.
While in Crookback Bog, CIRI had happened on the Crones. The Beast
I'm not sure if
sisters
we're...
took her in.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any new information based off of the Baron, at least not yet. Seems like we only get these updates when we have actually gotten information directly regarding CIRI. So these intermediary steps, getting closer to the people who might have that information, is not enough. Back down here. Now, I'm hoping we can actually loot this. I'm still pressing the loot button, and nothing is happening. Not close enough on that occasion, maybe. There are two things down here, actually. I didn't realize that. Yeah, so I'm very much pressing the loot button right now, and we are obviously right next to it there. So yeah, that's unfortunate. And on neither occasion is that working. I mean, we're hitting our head on it. So very clearly we would be able to... we also definitely need to come up for air. Yeah, so we can try reloading again one more time. But I think on one occasion we did actually have to completely close the game and reopen it in order to make that happen. This has been the actual problem that we've had several times over, not so much the game crashing, I guess. But let's give this one last shot here to reload. Because the first time, of course, was actually not that we couldn't loot something. It was that back when we were doing the Noonwraith, the original Noonwraith quest, we went down into the well, and we were not able to dive underwater at all. And so that meant that we were actually trapped. Not only could we not pick up the quest item that was underwater, which was similar to what we see here, although I'm assuming these are just useful loots. We couldn't do that, but we also just wouldn't have been able to get out of that location. We would have been stuck in a well for the rest of our lives. So, for that reason, you know, it was probably important for us to be able to actually get that sorted out, so will it work this time? It still will not work. Okay, yeah, I mean, this stuff may be terrible, for all I know. Maybe it's not significant, maybe it's not good. But that's only going to cause us more problems later on if we cannot get what we need to get. So, for that reason, like, when it does truly matter, we're not going to be able to do it. So I'm going to restart the entire game in that case. We certainly have plenty of saves to reload, so that shouldn't be an issue. I'm going to exit and relaunch the game. And hope that once we do that, we will be all set. Yeah, I don't know. Have you guys had similar problems with it as well? Where, like, this specific thing, where for some reason you're having issues looting underwater items, or in some cases even diving altogether? Because it seems it's kind of odd. I mean, I suppose bugs are rarely easily explainable things. That's why they exist in the first place. If they were easily identifiable and addressable, then developers would be able to get rid of them in a jiffy. But I guess, in this case, not so much. Okay, so let's load. And now, this is becoming a very familiar sight here. We'll get through soon. No worries, and maybe it turns out that stuff is amazing. It looked like we got a pretty nice crafting recipe, if you will, from that other chest that was above water here, so maybe these will be similar, and could be very worthwhile. Or we didn't actually check that one, but I'm assuming it's good. It sounded good. Okay. Attempt number something. This time, still no. Wow. Okay, that is very frustrating in that case. I mean, what else are we supposed to do at this point? We've reloaded the game twice. Yeah, and then restarted the game altogether once. So, I mean, theoretically, we could come back down here on some future occasion if it turns out that that's really significant. Oh, we looted this. We did loot that. Maybe we saved before we had done that. But, yeah, so I guess let me know if it is actually the case that those items are so fantastically amazing that we must have them. Otherwise, we'll forever be at a disadvantage. But, as you can see there, after reloading the game twice and restarting the game once, an effort was made. I wanted to make it happen. But at some point, the game does kind of need to meet us halfway. Anything over here? Is there a reason why this area is off to the side? Is there loot here? Are these the same chests? Are these different chests? Are these lootable chests? Got this one. Superior Dancing Star. That does sound good. Maybe that's why we couldn't get them before. Were we actually technically in the other area? Okay, we should surface though. No, that's the same. That's the same ones, are they not? We did suddenly get them. All right, hold on. Let's save in that case. Apparently, coming at them from a different angle was enough. I don't really know. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. He's saying that I'm through the old road of the castle. I was actually trying to make it through here. Thought that we had to dive under where we came from. Yeah, it does seem like the quest indicators, of course, directing us over here. Thought that we had to go this way for that reason. I'm pretty sure surfacing here is not gonna exactly break us through. Harold was saying light. It sounds like I'm close. We can probably dive under this. Can we not? Harold, can you dive? Here we go. And is it like around this corner, kind of, sort of? Can you make it through there? Not sure if you can, quite frankly. Oh, or can we squeeze through of water? No? Geralt? What is the deal here in that case? How are we supposed to get through? Go around this way? Is this a thing? Does this only lead to our demise because there's no place to surface here? We are breathing. However, where exactly we are, not exactly sure. What the heck is going on in this place? I don't get it, in case that isn't clear. Maybe we're going in the wrong direction. It really doesn't look like it. It really looks like we're supposed to go this way, but what do I know? Oop, there. Alright, let's try the cat potion. Let's do that. And then maybe that makes things a little bit easier on us, if we can see more readily. That puts our new potion to good use. So, where is it? Werewolf, Night Wraith, Forktail, Wyvern, Basilisk, Moonwraith, Wraith, Griffin. Where is it? Thunderbolt, Blizzard, White Raffords, Honey, Cat. Here it is. Okay. Let's throw it in the Tawny Owl, I guess, at least for the time being. That means if we do this, should be able to see more easily. Okay, apparently we did not leave that. that's good. And I suppose we can take a quick check here, see if there's anything else we missed. There? We came from? I don't think so. Cat potion actually doesn't have a terribly long duration, so how does this affect us when we're underwater is the real question, I suppose. I figured it was going to be this direction because the quest indicator seems to be pointing us that way, but maybe not. Seems like the water opens up a little bit more over here, but that seems to be in the opposite direction, so what the heck? How do we get out of here? We are also about to run out of cat potion. Is this tiny little way through? It is not. I'm very confused. Now, I'm sure I'm just being blind, and there's something painfully obvious that I'm clearly not seeing. But I'm not seeing it. So I'm not sure what we're supposed to do in that case. Because it appears as though we've hit a bit of a wall. And maybe that means that we should stop trying to go in that direction. Because that may not be the right direction. But that's like, you know, where the water is, and we're trying to dive under the water to get through. So, really seems like that would be the answer. Get back up. There's some other answer. Oh, is it up here? Okay. Okay. Is this where we came in? Oh, it must not be, because we would have seen that stuff. Okay. Entirely different direction, it seems, is ultimately the answer. So yes, we were, in that case, kind of banging our head against a wall. And it was a wall that we were not supposed to go through. So at least that's comforting. To know that it's not like we were missing something that we were supposed to be able to do. Feels like... Is there something over here? No, that's just another part of the wall. Cave wall at that. And this appears to be the way out. Yeah, the light was coming from that direction as well, so it felt like, well, that must be... That was where Geralt commented on it, so that's why I was doing all that stuff, but I'm sorry about that. Could you like, climb this ladder we were just looking at? Again? There we go. That's also partially the reason, is because we've had a lot of things like this where we're standing next to the thing that we're supposed to be able to interact with, and we're not able to interact with it. There isn't anyone who's mad at us over here.
Emphysema. Now those were balls.
That's probably the Baron.
Attended a few, me and my Annie. Oh, how we danced, how we twirled.
Ooh!
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey!
Enough. I don't care how you
That
do it,
guy's
but the
Nilfgaardian.
deliveries must be weekly.
Won't you stay for tea?
No. Besides, you've another guest.
Hey guys.
A defender of the downtrodden. Greetings.
Greetings to you
News
too.
gets around quick.
That it does. When I learned you'd slaughtered my men, I thought to have you captured and hanged. Or at least flogged. But then I thought, one tough cocker if he bested that lot of cutthroats. Man like him could prove useful.
Alright. We are kind of someone who you hire for exactly that type of thing. So that would just be, you know, we would need to take a little bit of a look in the mirror in that case. So it seems like
How?
we might be able to come to a
That's
mutually
the
beneficial
spirit.
agreement.
We'll work well together. I can see that already.
And also, remember that this
This
guy
way.
has quite a temper, supposedly, so
thing.
we want to be on his good side.
You do well to behave this time. Remember, I've still to decide what to do with you.
And he
Which
does
I
kind of
shall
run the
do
shop around
after
here.
We've spoken.
All of Velen, in a way.
Make yourself at home. Hey, where'd I put the bloody vodka? Ah, there it is. A snifter.
Yeah, I think again we want to stay on his good side, so we'll oblige. Even if normally I might say no.
Why not?
I'm assuming he hasn't poisoned this
a
thing.
man after my own heart.
Right.
With Foltest dead and Natalis whereabouts unknown. Bloody hell. Who's a loyal Temerian to drink to these days?
Himself and his company?
Good enough. To the matter at hand. I'm Philip Strenger. Now the blobtits round here call me the Bloody Baron.
Geralt of Rivia. Blobtits call me the Butcher of Blaviken.
I know who you are. Truth be told, it's the only reason we're talking.
Okay.
How do you like it here in Velen?
Again, probably want to talk the place up a little bit. Like, that might not come across as genuine. But we probably don't want to say that. Yeah, we'll try to continue buttering him up a bit, I think.
Lovely place. Swamps, bogs.
Yeah,
marshes
expected that
everywhere.
would probably be
Exactly.
sarcastic.
Someone loses their way around here, he becomes damn hard to find.
What are you getting at?
Many have lost loved ones here. Some their wives, others their daughters.
Okay, yeah, are you trying to say that we might be one of those people? Or are you trying to say that we can help you by helping you find one of those people that you yourself have lost? So I feel like both of these things are pretty aggressive, and again, I'm deliberately trying not to be aggressive against this guy, because I think he could very easily get very mad at us, and the whole situation could turn on its head. So I want to avoid that. But hey, both of these things feel like they could lead in that direction, so I'm not sure which one we ought to say. That, I don't know.
What's that supposed to mean? That a threat?
Aye, not as clever as I suspected you'd be. No, it's no threat. I'll spell it out for you. I know who you're looking for.
Okay.
She showed up some time ago. Exhausted, wounded, and stinking like a soaked hound after a hard hunt.
Pun intended?
Later, I learned she'd come from the swamp.
Okay. Oh, are we about to get another CIRI showing, perhaps? Are we about to
Said some
play a
beasts
CIRI?
in the woods attacked her before she could reach the village.
Ooh. Come on, CIRI. You're better than that. So I'm standing ready in case we are about to be CIRI. In which case, I'm assuming we will also be running from the Wild Hunt this time. Yes, we are. Okay.
That was close. I must leave this place.
Do we have... Yeah, we can get to the world map. Yes. Looks like we are technically headed for Lindenvale. I'm just trying to see... Things are different when we're CIRI. We know that much.
She needs help.
Who needs help? I don't know. Doesn't seem like the Wild Hunt are directly on top of us right now. So I'm not sure if we have a pseudo timer like we did in the past. But probably don't want to be pokey either. Love that teleport. It's so cool. Oh, you're up in the tree. Who are
You
you?
can calm down.
Oh, you're one of the little kids. From the bog, it seems. I think. That is a terrible idea.
Hello there.
Low center
Are
of
you
gravity.
lost?
A little, I guess.
Not standing up like that.
Are
It's
you?
not the way to go. Oh, are you? One of the kids from the bog who was staying with Gran? Maybe not. Yeah, you could say we're lost too.
Yes. Though also just a little.
Does that mean you know which way to go?
Not quite. Not yet. But I'm sure we'll find the way if we set off together.
No.
What happened to you?
This,
Hmm.
it's nothing.
Yeah, we've seen worse, right? Let's see. So, like, where do you live might give us an idea as to where we might want to go to get you back home. Whereas, how is it you're here would suggest, you know, we might figure out how you got here. I feel like that's not as important as this.
Why don't you tell me where you live?
In Lindenvale. They'd see to your wounds there.
There we go. Okay. Now we can ask how you got here then.
How did you wind up here?
My father brought me. Told me to follow the trail of treats and eat my fill.
Ah, okay.
He said he would wait.
So you were
So we started down
going
the
to
trail.
end up at the
Then I
boss.
saw a butterfly, and I ran to catch it, and I lost my way.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, why didn't you follow the treats?
Your father, why did he have you follow the trail of treats? Do you know?
Because we had nap to break our fast with.
I don't understand.
I was naughty. Broke a jug. Spilled all our milk.
Your parents must have been angry.
Mother said I should be spanked. But father said wouldn't do no good. Too many mouths to feed anyway.
Ooh, yeah, that
Sending
is
me down
harsh.
the trail of treats. That would solve things.
I mean, it makes sense, I guess. Not enough mouths to feed, and you got rid of the food. So I understand why the parents were mad. Doesn't mean it was the right thing to do. Well, I mean, I guess if the Trail of Treats is actually a way of giving the child food, then in some ways it's a, you know, not a great way of enacting justice, but still a way of making sure that the child lives when that might not otherwise be a possibility. So, yeah, an unfortunate truth,
You
I
and
think.
your father. When did you
Which
leave
is,
home?
you kind of need
This
to do that
morning.
type of thing around here.
And did the sun warm your face or your back?
It warmed my back.
So we must go east. Come,
Ooh, clever.
I'll walk you home. And explain to your parents that they must not lose their children in the woods.
We can't go home because of the Wolf King and his pack.
Oh? Wolf King?
No kings among wolves.
These have one.
And you've seen him?
Yes. I mean, no. From behind a tree. He was huge, with giant eyes and great fangs, and he was terribly, disgustingly horrific.
Okay, I'm assuming it is probably a bigger and badder wolf than the ones we were just fighting.
See what I've got on my back? Wolves fear it. Kings do too. Come, I'll help
Wolves
you up.
and kings together, though? I don't know. Alright. Let's see. We can fear the wolves, perhaps. We could also theoretically loot them, although I'm not sure if there's anything we can actually do with them, with their loot. Now, we don't currently have access to an inventory. We just have the map is the only thing we can see when we pause the game like this. So, we were supposed to be headed toward Lindenvale. However, then we heard that we were actually supposed to be headed east. These are clearly wolves.
Wolves! Quick, hide!
Oh, not see you. That is so cool. I'm just gonna end up dashing all the time because it feels so awesome to do it. So yeah, CIRI does not have access to signs, which is of course unfortunate. That would be helpful on occasions such as this, where we could theoretically avoid taking damage from using signs, like Quen, or maybe hit multiple wolves simultaneously with Nigni. We're actually getting pretty hurt though. And I don't think we can use any healing items with CIRI. I do see that we are slowly regenerating some health. Not very quickly though, so not at the same type of pace at which Geralt would be doing that, were he using a healing item of some variety. So that does mean we actually have to be really careful here. If we were playing as Geralt right now, Geralt wouldn't have much of a problem in this situation, I don't think, because he is, I would think, based on the lack of damage we have here, a higher level. I think Geralt's a higher level than CIRI, or at least the equivalent of a higher level, to the extent that that is a thing.
You can come out now. Massacred by something with immense claws.
That would seem to suggest that is probably the King Wolf. So that would also wolf's liver? Like, does this stuff carry over when we have Geralt? No. I am curious how that works, actually. I have, of course, investigated that. It's like, wolf's liver? I'm assuming it doesn't really do anything for CIRI here.
Look! There's something there.
See, I was originally going to say that King Wolf probably wouldn't be too difficult, given how wolves,
Wait
level
here.
5 wolves, are
Don't come any closer.
not too tough with Geralt, but
No,
CIRI
Rats, stay
doesn't
here.
deal the same kind of
I
damage.
must see something.
Isn't as tanky, it doesn't seem either. But much more maneuverable, so we should be trying to dodge hits, it seems. Yeah, that doesn't look good. In case that wasn't clear. Okay, what do we investigate? I don't know. Does he have a belly? Or a leg? I'm not sure he does anymore.
Let's see. His liver's gone.
Okay.
Why are you digging through his belly?
Would you mind making certain your laces are tied?
CIRI's awesome.
Something tore his leg off. No, gnawed it off.
Ew, that's horrible.
Stay there, and look away. What's this? Marrow's missing. Interesting.
So, eating the liver, or at least taking the liver, gnawing his leg off and eating the marrow? That doesn't sound so wolf-like anymore. Originally, that was of course my suspicion.
His chest is crushed. Ribs probably pierced his lungs. Something picked him up and threw him against the tree.
Oh wow. That's gotta be something pretty darn big, and throwing is not really a wolf thing. So if there was any question before as to whether this was actually the doing of the King Wolf, that probably confirms that it was not.
Lips parted and bloated. Bit clear through his tongue. Immense pain before death.
Yikes.
Bloodshot, but still moist. He died recently.
Okay, so what can
Wolf
we...
King's no fantasy, it seems. Except he's a werewolf.
Okay, that makes more sense.
What happened?
Werewolves might be able to throw.
He had a fall.
Of
My
sorts.
The Wolf King got him.
When did children get so smart?
What will we do when the Wolf King finds us?
Good question. I've no silver, but I can make a blade oil.
Ooh.
Oil? You mean like we make from rapeseed?
No, a far more special oil. Of dog tallow, wolfsbane, fool's parsley, and wolf's liver. The Wolf King will feel terrible, terrible pain.
Okay, so maybe that's why we needed
You're
those
smart.
materials.
How do you know these things? Did your father teach you?
Sort of.
Not my father, my uncle.
Oh.
Uncle
Fine, give the
Vesemir.
credit to Vesemir. If you insist. Alright, so King of Wolves, gather wolfsbane and fool's parsley. Okay. So my guess is we would have seen that we were supposed to also gather the wolf's liver, but we got some of that stuff from previous wolf looting. So that probably explains that stuff. Mistletoe, that's not necessarily necessary. Now, do we have to make sure that we're staying right next to Greta? Probably should. Is she actually going to keep on walking here? We don't have fool's parsley yet. And not necessarily sure where we would find that.
Belly's all in blood. Clawed open. No wolves did this.
Werewolf, though? Maybe? Yeah, so I do want to make sure we still get the fool's parsley in time. If we, like, keep on walking forward with Greta here, are we gonna run into that Wolf King before we actually get the chance to get the item that we need to get? In which case, we could be in trouble. I don't know. There's not much in the way of plants here.
That? Wolves.
Hide! Quickly!
Okay. I think these are just normal wolves. I'm hoping they're just normal wolves. As I was saying before, not as good in straight-up fights as Geralt was. We want to be a little bit careful here. There are a lot of them, and they could easily outnumber us and deal their fair share of damage. I like to try to target the ones that have low HP, and or the ones that are kind of separate from the others. We could get two, that'd be great. One down. Yeah, they come charging in and they basically attack immediately when they do. So it's actually kind of hard to not get hit. Because we don't have any, I think we have any in-between dodge. We only have the big one. Unless this one is like a slightly shorter version. Actually, it might be. A short dash and a long dash. Okay, I've only been using the long dash. That could prove helpful. I'm gonna try to make more of a point of mixing it up there in that case. Should make it easier to avoid getting hit and then still have enough time to follow up a sword swing of our own. Good one. Ow. Okay. Wolves down.
You can come out.
But yeah,
Cut 'em up bad.
surprisingly not super easy.
It's dead. But a pig here? Must be a human settlement nearby.
We could see on the map. We can have access to that. Lindenvale, we're sort of headed in that direction, but not quite. I don't remember what this entrance was previously when we were going through this area with Geralt. Might actually be relevant this time around with CIRI in tow. But yeah, I think once we start to get more accustomed to using both the big dash and little dash, I'm hoping that that will make a bit of a difference.
Do parents often send their children out to follow the sweets?
Sometimes they send their children, sometimes they go themselves.
Do they return?
No, why would they? They've plenty to eat where the path ends.
Of course, we know what lies where the path ends. So, again, I'm not sure how much we might want to deviate from the path here. I'm not sure we really can, given how there's these steep walls on the sides here. That was something. Oh, you know what? I do recognize this area, and this was exactly what I was thinking at the time.
Through the cave.
We saw a cave here, and we didn't know why it was there. And we explored it a fair bit with Geralt, and we were like, are we missing something here? So that's interesting. That would suggest that, yes, we can encounter locations where CIRI will ultimately end up going later on. I mean, in a sense, because they're sharing the same world. Just at different times. But that would suggest that sometimes... Oh. It doesn't mean we're missing something. It just means that it's not totally relevant yet. Maybe a bit of a hint. Look at what we might encounter in the future with CIRI. And if there is a place with a werewolf in it, I would assume it's in the den, or at least the cave, that is probably also a den. And we still have yet to find that fool's parsley, so I'm a little concerned here, because I was saying earlier how it seemed like it was not the easiest thing to fight those large pack of wolves. And that's one thing, but I'm assuming the Wolf King is much harder. So, and though, like, how do we get out of here and potentially find fool's parsley? Maybe it is down there, but I feel like we're at risk of going down into a location that is a path of no return type of thing. A point of no return type of thing. So I'm going to do a quick backtrack just to be sure that we didn't miss something that would have been really important for us to get. It may not be the case. I may be being extra cautious here, but I just want to make sure that we don't trap ourselves in this loop where we're unable to do what we need to do because we missed the item that we needed to get. Is that potentially way up? Or did they deliberately make it so that you would not be able to get down or up from over here? That could very well be the case, in which case that would suggest that maybe we aren't missing something. It seems like CIRI can't grab things. Like, I'm pretty sure Geralt would be able to grab that ledge. Or this ledge, for that matter. Okay, so in that case, yeah, I think we'd probably take the hint and say that, well, the reason why we can't go over there is because we don't need to go over there. And that would suggest that we have not missed any crucially important crafting item. Just wanted to make sure that we weren't so head down, focusing on going straight forward, that we missed something that we very much would want to have. But it seems like we're gonna. Let's head into the cave, where I then assume that that means we will find that there is some of that fool's parsley, or maybe you actually aren't supposed to have any before you fight that guy. I
It's a
don't know.
bit dark.
Afraid?
Are you?
No.
Then I'm not either.
Oh, see, they're cute together. That doesn't sound good though. Sounds like a werewolf, for sure.
What?
The Wolf King, now do you believe me?
I do. Hide!
Well, I believed you from the beginning. Yeah, we don't have that blade oil. We definitely don't have that blade oil. So, if there was a way to get it, we didn't find it. There must have been, right? So now I'm like, well, where was it in that case? And does he heal? Because previous werewolves we fought, yes, you know which one I'm thinking of, certainly did. Yeah, so I'm a much bigger fan of the little dash than I am the big dash. Seems much better. He did still manage to hit us, though. Okay, this guy is surprisingly not that tough, though. Honestly, the big attacks were hard. Hey, buddy. Guess what? We can heal, and apparently you can. And we might find, I bet, the herbs we need are actually in that spot there. There are some herbs in here.
Girl, you can come out now. Come on.
Did you actually never ask her name, Ciri? Yeah, this is not a great place for you to be hanging out, dude.
You're lucky we came this way. Found someone far less fortunate in the forest.
Aaron, must be. We was returning from Midcops when the brute attacked. I managed to flee, but Yaren,
The little one. No details.
Yeah, we
You
should
have
get out of
bandages
here.
at home? Some spirit? He laid a claw or two on me, unfortunately.
I've not, miss, but my lord, he's a powerful man. He's sure to help you. Might even reward you for cutting the werewolf down.
Very well. Lead us to your lord.
Alright, making some friends. So yeah, I'm curious where the fool's parsley is there. It looked like there were some herbs in that cave, so might you've been able to pick some up right as you were about to fight the werewolf and last minute craft the oil? Maybe, or maybe you needed to pick it up earlier? I don't know, but there wasn't any in that little channel we were in. Okay. So this is where
Just who do you
Ciri
think
met
you
the Bloody
brought me,
Baron.
man? That's not me daughter.
And the little one?
Neither, damn it. I think I'd know my own child.
Well, might not be yours, the older one, but you've got to admit a likeness. That's downright striking. So, any chance for that reward?
You'll not see one fucking copper. Get out before I set my hounds on you.
Meanwhile, they're stuffing their faces.
So, stew any good?
Very. Thank you. I'd not eaten in.
Clear to see. I'm pleased you like it. I can prepare a bath for you once you've eaten, and you could do with some sleep. Gretka in the nook behind the hearth. You in the guest room opposite the kitchen.
Thank you.
Shh. Eat now. We'll speak once you've rested.
Actually, very hospitable. I'm impressed.